everyone, and welcome back to the Aether Hub. I'm Simon again, bringing you more MTG lore. With our storied return to the plane that started it all, Dominaria, we of course expected a super flavorful set. And boy, did Wizards deliver on that. Dominaria, to me, has been one of the most fun sets from a lore perspective in a really long time. And I hope this trend continues into the future. Still, with so much flavor in Dominaria, I started thinking to myself, what are my top flavor wins of this set? We got a bunch of new legendary spells, not to mention Sagas, and of course, Story Spotlight cards. But which among them packs the most flavor? Well, let's discuss that a little bit, shall we? These are the Aether Hub's top 5 flavor wins from Dominaria. Board the Weatherlight. This sorcery has such flavorful art to go with an even more flavorful name. So much so that I was actually shocked to learn that this wasn't a Story Spotlight card from Dominaria. Still, a card with this much flavor, of course, had to keep with the theme by having a very on-point effect in the game itself. The art depicts Jhoira and her Weatherlight skyship picking up the planeswalkers Gideon and Liliana for the first time, as Jhoira is out looking for a new legendary crew for this legendary ship. Board the Weatherlight, digging up a historic card, which include legendaries, perfectly matches the story being told on the card's face. I'm completely on board with this one, guys. This card's a flavor win. Settle the Score. As with most of the Story Spotlight cards, Settle the Score tends to be a tad bit heavier on the flavor than others from Dominaria. The art depicts a pivotal moment in this set's story, the end of Liliana's final demon lord, Belzenlok, as she ends him without the use of the Chain Veil. With Belzenlok's demise, her contract is void, and she reclaims her soul and destiny. Or so we think. Regardless, the death of Belzenlok notes a powerful moment where Liliana can freely use her necromancy to never-before-seen levels. That, along with the Chain Veil, means Liliana post-contract is much more powerful than before. And that pairs perfectly with the card itself, exiling a creature, aka Belzenlok, and buffing up a planeswalker you control. It's settled! This card's a flavor win! Squee the Immortal. Squee has always been on flavorful cards ever since its original printing way back in the day, when he was nothing more than Squee Goblin Nabob. For those of you less familiar with Squee's story, he's the goblin cabin boy for the Weatherlight, who was captured by the Phyrexians, given the curse or gift of immortality, solely for the purpose of being killed again and again. Yeah, it was pretty torturous, but eventually he was freed, and now he's just literally immortal. His newest card from Dominaria, Squee the Immortal, continues the theme of his story, with a few added buffs when compared to his previous card. No matter how you slice it, or even slice Squee, Squee's story is pretty well represented in his cards. Squeeze me tight, guys. I think this card's an amazing flavor win. Okay, so that one wasn't so good. Sorry. Naban, Dean of Iteration. So this card probably won't make a lot of people's lists for most flavorful cards, especially in a set as flavor-packed as Dominaria. But to me, it just hits all of the right notes when I think of a flavor win. Naban is a character we've seen briefly in the story as Dean of Tolaria West. He's a practiced mage and scholar in the School of Iteration, the repetition of spells. He specializes in counter magics and pushes all of his students to train harder through, you guessed it, repetition. That's what he's all about, it's pretty much his thing. And what does this card do? Causes wizards to trigger twice. How's that for the flavor of a card matching its function? From the character to the text to even the flavor text, Naban, Dean of Iteration is, and let me repeat this, a great flavor win in Dominaria. Phyrexian Scriptures. With Dominaria, we were introduced to the super flavorful cards known as Sagas. Now, Sagas are literally stories in and of themselves. They represent some of the most ancient tales and people of Dominaria, so you'd expect these to be super flavorful in art, name, and card text. Phyrexian Scriptures, however, is probably the greatest example of these. It describes the culture of the Phyrexians, their beliefs and goals. It describes the practice of completion, turning organic beings into more mechanical organisms, and their overarching achievement to end all purely organic life in the multiverse. With that in mind, the abilities of Phyrexian Scriptures hits all the flavor points I love to see. It completes a creature, turning them into an artifact, and then realizes Yawgmoth's goal in destroying all organic life. You could say Phyrexian Scriptures is a complete flavor win. And there you guys have it, my top 5 flavor wins from our return to Dominaria. Now, I know I may have a different definition on what makes a card flavorful when compared to you guys out there, so that's why I want you to, right now, let me know your own picks for the top flavor wins in the comment section below. What Dominaria cards best fit its particular story in all respects? Let the great debate continue. While you're thinking that over, why don't you do yourself a favor and check out all the great rewards you can earn as a member of the Vorthos army. As a member, you get signed cards by me, access to our Discord, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes sneak peek at new videos. And that's just for starters, all while supporting the best Vorthos community on YouTube. How do you join? Just check out everything on our Patreon page linked in the description of this video, and consider joining the Vorthos army today. You can also, of course, support the channel by throwing this video a like, subbing to the channel, and sharing it across the multiverse. That's gonna do it for me, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time here on the Aether Hub.